You're listening to a Lost in the Groove segment.
Having good vibes with your bones and joints. Taking a trip into the groove. American groove into stoner world. Gonna
What's the word? It's so random sometimes because it like almost puts you in like a state of mind or reference. For me, it's really strange because I can be high as a kite and I'm probably the most functional individual. I can talk to you. I can do things. I can figure out errands. I can drive. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying in my own personal experience, I tend to just have the complete opposite of where I turn into your typical German.
I don't think that it makes me that different, like in general.
Oh, I am completely different when I'm not on this. But I'm kind of the same, but I'm completely different. But yeah,
But I
go
mean,
on.
like, as far as like the ability to like operate a car or carry a conversation or do like basic activities, like all of it. Sometimes it's even like rather enhancing. Like, I feel like I have a great conversation or I feel very focused sometimes. I think that for me, I had figured out how to enhance the relaxation aspect of it, to kick aside all anxiety and worry, to be present in the moment and to like focus on what is at hand. And I don't think that everybody did that when, experiencing. I feel like there's a lot of different things that people do. And I mean, like, sometimes it is fun to just to like kick back and like, not pay a lot of attention and just like laugh, but like
Yeah, have a
it
good
kind of
time.
depends like what's at hand, like if you need to get stuff done or not. I know a lot of people I've heard of smoke and clean. A lot of people will get really really high and like do the dishes. Like, it is a thing.
You get into
So
a rhythm. I know what you're talking about, and it's just, especially with cleaning. I don't know. I have that thing
cleaning, I
too.
mean, it's a little bit easier to like clean the whole house if you're like stoned. Now, I think there's also like that song, he's like, I was gonna go to work, I was gonna clean the house, but
But
then I
then I
got
got
high,
high.
right? So
Yeah.
he's like saying all these things that he was gonna do, but like, I mean,
I
you
was
you
gonna
have
see,
to,
but
you gotta
then I got
stay
high.
focused. Like, you gotta be like, no, I said that I was gonna, do this. Like, it's still a choice. Like,
I think it depends on the individual. I think it's all about like the personal experience, because you know what? I hate to say this. We are creatures of substance. And that could be a lot of different things for people. Whether it be healthy or not, that's just a part of people's lives.
yeah, we
Okay?
consume.
We consume exactly. Like, we are fucking meat bags with fluids just
Yeah,
walking around,
a lot of water.
right? Filling it with water, right? And just shit and chemicals and pills and the fucking Align antibiotics and the fucking CVS right next door. You're just putting all that shit in your body. It's the power, baby.
Dude, I'm just like thinking about work, and like I teach anatomy and chemistry and all kinds of biology, sciencey stuff. And
Wow.
I'm constantly
You
like,
don't even have a lab coat on with glasses.
I have on scrubs, but I'm like blabbering tons of information at these students all the time, and
You have to.
I always care so much more about it than everybody else. And I'm always trying to find some way to like connect with my students and like make what we're talking about relevant. And I always feel like there's so much there if people would just let themselves like think about the science. But I think that everybody is so busy with just going through the motions and completing everything that
Mm-hmm.
needs to be completed that they don't even actually sink into thinking about the science. Like everybody's just like, what do I need to get done? You
Right.
know?
It's a hard. It's a hard way to be, right? Because you have so many things that are going on and you have a busy life ahead of you. Like, when you possibly have the time to be able to put that energy and resource into things. Like, I'll be very honest with you, like, even in my own school, I finished up a course that was electrical applications. They literally threw fucking everything at us, all right? Like, they threw every kind of sensor you could possibly think of, transistors. Like, there was like over 50 fucking chapters in 3 weeks. And it's like, am I going to remember any of that shit? Nah. I barely remember what I fucking learned on the second day. But it's kind of like, it's like almost like ingrained in you. So then, like, when you run into the situation, like in the future, you get like the aha.
Mm.
You know, you're like, you kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of, sure, yeah, maybe I fucked it in the ass, but I got it in correct. Wasn't like bent. Gesundheit. Gesundheit.
Jeez. Yeah, so you think that like no, you don't really absorb it all and think about it in the moment, but then you go through the motions with it and then later on when it becomes relevant, it's somewhere inside of your mind.
Oh yeah, I don't know. That's my hypothesis, but I think
I
somebody
mean, I
more
kind of
educated.
like yeah, like when I went through like my anatomy course, I did let myself kind of like sink into like thinking about the things, but I could also say that like they pushed us through everything so quickly that like
Deadlines, honey. That's what they're
yeah.
called.
And yeah, I know.
Oh,
I have a bunch of deadlines too. And then all of a sudden they added 2 more class days. So I hustle like crazy to like meet this deadline and then there's 16 more hours added. And I'm like, "Great." Like, so I just spread everything the fuck out.
yeah, and like I was telling you, look, also with like the previous course, like there were days where like there was so much homework and like the labs were so completely different as to like what we were doing. So like the following day, like nothing would align. Like we were literally having labs, like literally doing the same things over and over again. And it just felt like completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like sometimes like curriculums with education, like it's not always going to be perfect.
Mm.
I think like the attitude is that like you're gonna be in a real world environment where that is gonna be completely different. Okay, what I mean by that is you're gonna have to relearn all these things. Like just because you took this course doesn't mean you know. All you're bringing to your employer is you have relevance. You have an understanding. You're not like that's the thing like I kind of realized too is like you're not skilled yet. You're just educated. You just have a relevance. You have like a little taste, like a little like that shit that they give you at Costco, in the little cups.
Yeah, it's a
Sample.
reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I don't know. I feel like that's also like at parties, like drug dealers will
Oh
like
shit.
give people
Damn.
they'll
You
give
went hard,
people
girl.
at parties drug dealers give people bumps and it's to get them hooked on drugs.
Nice. It's a smart way to start business.
It is. That's how they start business. They go around, they like give people a little bit of drugs, and then they know that like that's where they can find it too. And then they'll make friends with them, and then they'll ask them.
Shit. But hey, I mean, if they have A-grade cocaine, just saying, a little sample ain't bad. But anyway. God, I love a little drug dealer swang. Swang.
I'm just saying, it's something to consider. Like, you're like, oh, honestly, it's a rather manipulative thing to do.
It's a strange pattern. People can be quite manipulative, but sometimes in like almost in a seductive way, where it seems nice. Do you know where I'm going with this?
What
No.
are we? Where are we going with this?
Well,
you use the word seductive.
No, what I mean by seductive, like really like using, like the type of manipulation where it's completely like they want to win, they're gonna get something out of you. Like there's this whole process and plan. Like kind of like the thing with the drug dealer, like you give them a little something, and then you kind of like make them feel better, and then you kind of take advantage of them, but they don't really know, and you just keep on manipulating them.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's like you wonder what type of people fall into positions like that, just like people who are like that already, anyways.
Work in car dealerships. Hands down, own and work in car dealerships across the nation.
Last night we talked about the idea of me opening a Jamba Juice. We went on about that for a while.
But we would call it something else like Samba Juice.
Yeah, Mama's Juice was my joke.
Right. But I told you, I was like, honey, they're going to think like you're serving breast milk. Like, they bring the health inspector and then they'd be like, what the fuck? Why is there so much breast milk in the freezer?
Breast milk from a cow, damn it.
They're not going to believe that shit. You can see that
I would be like,
that milk is vegan. It's vegan milk.
I'd be like a juice shop, but then all of it out of nowhere, I'd start selling charcuterie too.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't be able to help myself.
No. You'd be eating all the charcuteries. Like people would be like, where are all the meats and shit? And it'd be like, I ate it.
I just love charcuterie, and so I don't know, but I cannot believe that nobody has opened a Jamba Juice. Have people just not traveled enough, or I don't know, but my mind is blown because they've basically tried to open every single thing you could try to open here, aside from Shake Shack, which everyone loves.
I've tried better burger places than Shake Shack.
It's those shakes, though.
Yeah, those shakes will give you cardiac arrest. I promise you. If you're looking
shake.
Yeah, if you're looking like a way to suicide, buy milkshake.
Do you remember Fat Sal's?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some damn good shakes.
They had onion rings. Yeah, they had make homemade onion rings.
Subs. They make these sub sandwiches.
But they were so I remember they were so expensive.
Stupid expensive. It was like $11.99 for a shake.
We're all about the artist. That is the whole purpose of this podcast, period. And you have a really valuable tool. You can share this with artists, people that are creative, someone that can enjoy this podcast and really enjoy the experience of Lost in the Groove. So with that, let's jump back to today's episode, shall we?
It was like $12 for a shake. And I remember one night at work, we all ordered Fat Sal's because it was always open really late. So that's how they'd always trap you with their bad.
They were open until 12 o'clock.
Yeah, they're open really late. And so they could charge more than everybody else. Plus, at least they gave you big portions. My shake was it was big and it was chunky. I got this s'mores shake that had
it came in foam cups.
Oh, they were so fucking big and good, and it came with the big straw and stuff, and it had actual chunks of cookie in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those were really, really good.
Do you
Yeah.
remember? Yeah, they used to give you a spoon in the bag. It was
It was like a McFlurry on steroids. It was really good.
there was also Mel's. Do you remember Mel's Diner?
Yeah, I like Mel's Diner.
They had milkshakes there. They had a cookies and cream milkshake, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I
Girl,
guess I like a milkshake in a to-go cup. Like,
oh, it's the best. It's
like
the
I don't want to
best.
sit down at a place and have a milkshake. Like I want to be like drinking that thing like in the car or at home.
We had a Dairy Queen that literally was just like there was outdoor seating
Yeah.
only. So you'd literally get
Mm.
your ice cream and they could like give you in like a foam cup. And you literally could just like sit there and just eat like your milkshake. They had floats and milkshakes and sundaes. Girl,
Yeah, I
girl.
know. I'm gonna have diabetes when I'm
Just
older.
thank God it's reversible, baby.
I don't know.
Uh,
I mean, maybe they'll figure something out by then, but
oh, we hope so, but and no
they never
promises.
do. I mean, when I was young, they always hoped that I could, do better than how shit is now. So,
Hey, here we are now, 2024.
I have no idea. But I remember I like to ask my students about things to see if they're still relevant or not. I asked the students, "Has anybody ever seen the movie Fight Club?" And they were all like, "No." Um,
Wow. But you know what I heard that was kind of in was Taxi? Do you remember that TV show?
I can see that. None of them know who Robert De Niro is.
Really?
Robert De Niro.
I mean, he's still hot. I'm just saying.
That's my Robert De Niro impression.
I
Do you like
will
it?
give it 7.5 out of 10. 7.8.
I'm trying really hard. Okay. I I did a facial impression of Robert De Niro for anyone that was only listening and is
And I gave it a
still listening
7.8
after.
out of 10.
Cool. I mean, you might be nice, so like it might even be a 4, like without like the niceness that you added onto it. And a 4 is pretty good. An impression at all is pretty cool.
So
I
you
think
give it a 4 and I give
4 or
it a 7
5.
point.
Yeah, I think it
Okay,
counts.
cool. Damn,
Yeah.
I didn't know they were judges. Like, holy shit, can we get like a
You
mallet?
you started judging out of nowhere. I just
I
gave it
don't
to you and
know.
you
I
were like,
just.
I give it a 7. I was like, oh shit, 7's pretty good.
And then I gave it a 7.5. And then you retried again. And then I was like 7.8.
It got better with a little bit more effort. It
You
got a
can get
lot
it up the
better.
butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I wonder if nurses have been retrieving these things out of people's butts.
I wondered too. I mean, like, there was that whole Tide Pod fiasco where people were eating Tide Pods. Like, I would not be
Oh,
surprised.
I hope
If,
nobody bit this thing.
no, I've
I
just
want to
like,
see a video where somebody broke one open, though. You know, there's a video where somebody broke one open.
yeah, and it's like kind of like heartbreaking because you're like, no, dun, 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 dun. And like you got like the music
They're
and the
like
drama.
stabbing it, like
Is like the base also made out of a soft material?
this or that.
The base.
The thingy.
The thing, yeah, the thingy.
It's like it's not the same. Like it's what the outside of it is made of. It doesn't have like the inner goo.
But it's like soft.
It is. It is soft. You see
It's
it?
interesting because like I would think that it would be like a harder material, like maybe like a hard plastic, but they chose to use just a soft material.
It's a bendy too.
I think you got to
And
get the square one now. You got to get the one that's like a square, so you can show it off next week.
see, it's got all these sparkles in it.
Yeah, it kind of looks like almost like the ocean inside of it.
Oh, I love it. I love my
Like,
needle.
they should have like put like maybe like a little fish or something in there, like almost a little scenery.
Cute. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a really, really good idea. And like, I like how it's pretty tough. Like, it takes a lot of effort to squeeze it. Like, I almost wish it was a little bit more resistant. But when I bought it, and I squeezed it for the first time, I was surprised at like how hard it was. Um, but somebody told me the more you squeeze them, like the more they become like goo. But my
Well,
one at work's pretty good. You know what's weird is like when someone else picks it up and I look over there and they're like playing with it. And I always wonder like, holy shit, they bought one too? And then it's like, oh no, that's mine. They just picked it up and they
I
didn't say anything about
I
it. They just pick it up and they just start putting their hands all over it.
I don't. I just like I would. I mean, I would probably maybe get one, maybe possibly. I don't know. I would have to think about it.
It's really cool. Like I can't stop. And then I started like tossing it at work. Like I was like,
Oh my
and I was
god,
like,
you were
somebody's
that
gonna take.
bored. You
I
were
was
that
doing this
bored.
like, well, because and I'm sure it's like horribly distracting, but like I stand up there and I lecture and I like ask the students questions.
Okay,
Like,
you're one of those professors, like you got like the Tom Ford glasses, like the tweed, like yeah, what do you call jacket, and you're like throwing the ball up. You're like, hey, students, so hey,
I know
here's the
I should
catch.
throw it to
Hey,
them.
huh?
Yeah. No, I have a stress ball in my hand because my job is stupid motherfucking stressful. Like,
You better like one day like walk in and be like, all right, students, you see that wrinkle? You see that wrinkle on my forehead? You see that? You see that?
it's not
You
them.
caused.
No. They're fine.
Oh
Like
shit!
I
But come
I
on,
would
we gotta
do
get a little
totally
drum on the
fine.
students a little.
No, no, no. The students are wonderful. It's the everybody else. It's like, oh my fucking god, like guys, like get it
Do
together.
you want to know something wild? So the guy that is my teacher, he was my teacher the last course, and he works in the BMW program. The thing is, the BMW program, they only have an evening class. They don't have a morning class. And because they like moved it to the evening, he doesn't get off until like 8 p.m. for like the next few years.
Whoa. Oh. Aww. Yeah, I know. I don't know. They do all kinds of like really shitty things to
Right?
teachers.
So
And like no one ever thinks about like how like just I don't know what their work experience is like. Like no one gives a fuck. And like it is so hard to entertain that many people all day long. Like I wouldn't give it up, you know? But like
no.
I am so fucking exhausted. But like I would be fine if it weren't for my employer like increasing my workload intensely aside from just my students and like stressing me the fuck out cuz like I was already fine like but I was already like this is enough for me. Like I'm at
My
where
peak
what I can
capacity.
handle. Yeah, I'm at my capacity and I am handling it, but like I'm there. And then they threw all kinds of extra shit on me and now I'm just like completely depleted.
It's like, trash bin, the like you need to take out the garbage, but like you're waiting until like, it's full and then it just keeps filling up. And then like you're like trying to press it down and you're like, I really should take out the garbage, but you're just being a fucking lazy ass bitch and you're not taking out the garbage. So
Not me. I feel like I mean, I told you what happened. Basically, they never taught me anything other than what I teach. And then they came through and they want to assess me on stuff that they never taught me. And it's really, really stressful. And they expect me to like cram everything that they never taught me somehow in between my regular work schedule, which is impossible because I already don't have enough time to do all the things that I need to do. And then they took all my work time away by adding all this new shit. And it's
hey, it's Dave, and I quickly just wanted to jump in and say if you've been enjoying the podcast, enjoying this episode, if you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, that'll be so greatly appreciated. Because here's the thing, someone might read that review and make the choice if they want to listen to the podcast. You get to help grow this podcast with us. How fucking cool is that? Let's jump back to today's episode.
just been hell. Like, I don't sleep right. Like, it's so stressful. They've ruined a good thing. It's
Stick it up to the
dumb.
man.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. I never dreamed that I could dislike this job as much as I am right now. And it's not the job, it's just them. Like, the actual teaching part is fine, but they've fucked it all up somehow.
I wonder if there's a way of like fixing, the bracket almost for teachers, like regards to like fair practice and care, because in many ways like educators are kind of pushed aside almost when they're very much important. At the same time, it's like, where do you even start? Like, is there, like, do you start like at the like at the school level? Do you start all the way up at the corporate ladder? Like, it's really hard to say.
Oh, well, I mean, it's interesting thinking about, like, professors, like, some of them have never left school. Like, all they've ever done is, like, go to school, get their master's, get their doctorate, and then be teaching school, and it's like, did you ever go do what it was that you went to school for? Like, I have a hard time with all the people who just go directly into, like, teaching from getting their education. Like, I get it because a lot of us went to school to become a teacher, but, like, you have nothing to teach other than what people just taught you. Like, you didn't go out into the field and, like, actually do it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really interesting because, like, if you ever think about it, like, these professors, they're always in classes. So they've never gone beyond of what their students have done. Like you
I
said,
mean,
like in the
yeah.
actual field, like if you're teaching engineering, but all you teach is engineering and you never actually engineered. See what I
No,
mean?
I mean, they have engineered, like, in class and, like, maybe they had, like, some internships or, like, different things like that,
Yeah,
but
but they've never been on the actual field.
I know. Now, like, my biology teacher, I believe that, like, yeah, she's never I mean, she might have worked, like, as, like, a research person or, like, different things like that, like, I feel like that's possible,
That doesn't pay
but
anything though, honey. Let's be real with
no,
ourselves.
I don't think that it really pays what she was looking for, but she did talk a little bit about doing other work. Yeah, I don't know. It's like my sister is a pharmacist, but like what would she have to do in order to learn to teach pharmacy, you know? I don't really know.
Well, no, I mean, doesn't she work in a pharmacy?
Yeah, she's the pharmacist out of Publix.
Yeah. I mean, she technically is on the field. I mean, she's doing.
I know, and so it's like she's the one who's got, like, more practice than the actual professor, but she's not gonna be the one to actually teach anybody how it works. It's gonna be the person who's never done it and just went to school for
Yeah,
it.
it's an interesting thing that, like, honestly, you don't pay any mind to. Almost like these are the people that are teaching you about your career. But for example, like in trade school, even for myself, most of my teachers have actually been in the trade.
Mhm.
You know, they don't. I mean, they call them instructors, but they're really their teachers. But they're all like had experience. So there's that element to it. I mean, like also for yourself, like you're an instructor or teacher, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah,
But
instructor.
you have your career and experience to give along with it because you've been out in the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference
It
here.
makes me just think that, like, the other way around would just be, like, kinda boring. I don't know, cause like, yeah, they taught us how to teach things that we have no experience in, and you're just kind of, like, reading, like, the material that the students already have, like, to them, more or less. Like, you can't give any, like, actual relevant information. Yeah, I don't know. I would hate it. I would hate it, like, if all I had done was just, like, go to school and then teach what I learned. Like, I love being able to pull from, like, my actual experience, when talking to people about things. Like,
Yeah, real life
it'd just be
experience adds an
empty.
element, no?
I don't know. I don't know what people are looking for. I try so hard though as an educator. Like I try so hard all the time to like make it relevant and I just feel like total trash.
It can do that to you sometimes.
Yeah. I know. Well, welcome to my life. And yes, your shirt is absolutely
Oh,
adorable.
thank you. Target, aka Target. Clearance section. I have a
I
rule.
went to Target and I bought the peppermint bark.
And how was?
I gave it all to Brett.
You didn't like it.
He loved it. He loves peppermint, which is why I bought it.
You don't
And,
like
like,
peppermint.
my stomach has just been really on edge. I feel like if I was feeling better and I was, like, all stony, I'd love to eat some peppermint bark.
Honey, you gotta try that shit. I'm telling you, like, I'm almost finished my box.
I
Like,
finally saw it today. Now, I was at Target a couple days ago and it wasn't there, and then it was in, like, the little section where all the gifts are. So, yeah, I got that peppermint bark, and then I found a undershirt that is velour. Do you know what velour is?
yeah, honey. I'm old enough to remember when people used to wear that shit like it was nobody's business. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got a velour shirt.
A velour tank top.
No, it's a long sleeve shirt for being cold as fuck.
And it's velour.
Yeah, it's like velvety, it's like total fuzz, and it's like
Red.
on the inside and the outside. No, it's black, so I could wear it to work.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you
But I
wearing
wanted
it
to
right
buy,
now?
like, more. No. But I got okay, so I got the peppermint bark, and I got the velour shirt, and I got some Christmas ducks. They had ducks that were Christmas.
You mean like little rubber duckies?
Yeah, rubber duckies. They have rubber duckies in the dollar section at the Target.
Do you ever put any rubber ducks on people's Jeeps anymore?
No, but I should do that again.
There's a lot of people that have Jeeps by you, don't they?
Yeah, there are a lot of Jeeps around here because, like, it's good to have a car that goes, like, four-wheel drive in the winter, but I should have bought more Christmas ducks, and then I could duck some Jeeps to cheer myself up from time to time.
You put little Santa Claus.
They didn't have a Santa one. They had an elf, and they had an abominable snowman. They had a duck that was dressed up like a penguin, and a duck that was wearing like a Christmas wreath. And
That's
then there
adorable.
was a New Year's Eve duck.
With a little
Um
top hat.
yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I had
Yeah,
one a long time ago.
yeah, New Year's Eve duck with a little top hat. He's like gold. He's got gold flakes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I got the ducks. I'm wasting my money.
No,
I
it's okay.
don't
You're wasting your money in good places. Mommy
know.
asking, where is Louie?
My mom or dad is probably eating food, so he's like staring them down.
I know, it's been like awfully quiet.
I had the door closed and he was trying to get out to like get out there and like see if there was like food. So I just like opened the door and he went out there and now he's been out there
Oh,
for a while.
yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, he hasn't been hanging out with me as much. He's been hanging around them.
That's okay. I mean, hey, sometimes we have Louie, sometimes we don't.
Right.
Depends on the week. I am still so fascinated by this like drop thing that you have.
Yeah. You like my drop?
Yeah. But again, I definitely still believe it's like definitely a sex toy for some people.
No. Do not. Yeah.
And I do not put that up your butthole. There are people that have already put it up their butthole, and I'm just like,
There's other things that are actually made for going up the
Yeah.
butthole.
Anal beads.
Plugs. There's all kinds of stuff,
Mhm.
and just use that instead.
Yeah. Don't use the drop.
That's crazy. All right.
Shit.
Good night.
Night, everybody, motherfuckers. If you want to check out Carissa, you can find her at American Groove Pod. If you want to check out more of the podcast, you can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
Buy my candles.
Yeah, buy Carissa's candles at Velvet Earth. What is your Instagram?
VelvetEarthShop.com.
VelvetEarthShop.com. Buy them, smoke them. I mean, light them, and
True.
experience the essence and smell.
Thank you. Okay. Have a good night, guys. Thank you for listening.
Adios, muchachos. Arrivederci.
Look, I squished it with
Holy
my
shit!
legs.
It's in between her legs. In her legs. Gonna put
I made it flat
that.
like a pancake.
Flat like a pancake.
Dude, it goes back so fast.
Holy shit! I'm gonna stop. Oh my god! Wow, but it's really cool.